Hi, brother Odendo. This is Robert. I just wanted to record this video because I don't know what else to do. I'll show you some things on the piano. Maybe it'll help you. So, um, so one of the things I wanted to show you was different chord shapes. So I'm sure you know like a C chord. So starting on middle C, right? So there's a thing called inverts, which means you can everything in that pattern. Those are all C major, and it repeats as you go up the octaves. Okay, so from this you can derive different chord shapes that are still a C major, like that one or this one. These are called inverts. So the value of an invert is that it gives you a way to change the sound and texture without changing the chord. So your singers and harmonies and stuff still work inside of that chord structure, whether it's here, 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 or here, or just the first, the fifth, and the last note, or even two notes. Now this is helpful when you're playing transitions between notes. Like so in the key of C, the next major is going to be F major. So watch, if I change that shape from here, instead of doing this and I go here, all I have to do is move two fingers. And now I'm an F, right? So instead of going like, I can just go. Same thing with the G, which would be the second major, which is this one. So if I go, I can just drop these fingers down. So we're going E, G, C. And then I'll do D, G, B. So that gives me the G major. And if I wanted to move this shape down, another invert, I can go back to the F. And then we're back to E, G, C. So this is useful when you're playing music instead of going. So I can do. So it's useful to change your chord shapes. Another advantage of doing these kind of chord shapes is that you can do susses easily, or ways that create tension. So like C major, I can go to a G sus by just dropping this E down to a D. So, and you feel that creates tension. You anticipate the next chord. Well, the next chord you're anticipating is a G. So when I want to go, if I know in my music I'm going to go from a C to a G, I can create tension as I lead up to it, maybe in the middle of the measure. And then I can take that whole shape and just move it down to get to my F. See how little my fingers are moving? So this helps when you're singing and you're worshiping and stuff, because you don't have to look at your hands, you don't have to think about what you're doing. If you get used to these patterns, you can just play without even looking at your hands. And if I want to go to the F, I can do the invert F. And I could leave this bass note on the C and go to the G. See how that creates tension? Another way to create tension would be to use the minors. So this creates an anticipation of a resolve to the main chord, the C chord. So let's do like some minor stuff. So we'll go to like the A minor in the key of C. If I want to create anticipation for the G, I can do that same sus pattern. See how it still sounds melancholy? And then if I'm here, I can create that same anticipation for the F, but it's still melancholy, right? So the shape changes the character and the nature of it. So what if I did it this way? This is A minor invert. It anticipates this E major. So like music is like a conversation, and so the different words that you use are different chord shapes and different phrasings, as they call them. To go to the invert C. I can add that minor back in. So different susses. This one creates anticipation of G. The minor creates the anticipation of a resolve to the major. We'll do a C over G. We can go down a half step, and that gives you anticipation of either going to the F or back up to the G. If I want to create upward momentum, I can use the next half step, which is the E major, to the minor. Back to the C. So it's a conversation. Another thing that I like to do is spread those inverts out. And this is a little harder to film, but in the same C shape, you can do that all the way up the keyboard, right? So if I wanted to create more an open feel, I spread my hands out. I can play the C notes, like I'll play just an octave with my left hand, C to C, but here I'll play that invert. And then I can play a single note for the G on the bass hand, and then do that sus to the G. See how it's lighter and more airy? And go to the A minor, and I'll just do the normal A minor shape. 3 fingers. And if I want to do an invert to the F, I can just pick up 1 finger. And then now I have an easy resolve to C. This finger and this finger to C. If I want to do a sus. So learning these different shapes gives you more ways to get to where you want to go. And the minors create anticipation of a resolve. So I hope that helps you some. I'll show you when you start to put these together what they sound like. It's a simple chord progression. This is like a gliss I'm doing where I just kind of roll off one key onto the next. And you can practice that. Just takes practice. But once you get that, I'm going to do a C to a shape over F, but in my left hand, I'm going to play, and then I'm going to go up to that A, which is part of this F chord. So watch what happens when I do these together. Ooh, isn't that pretty? It creates anticipation, but it doesn't lead you anywhere particularly. I can go up to the B flat. All right, so let's try adding a minor. Ooh, see, it creates anticipation. Now we're back to a major F, to the B flat, back to the resolve. I use the minor to create anticipation of the resolve. So one of the things you can do is defer or delay that resolve to create more tension, right? Because it's like a conversation, you're communicating a story. So I'm gonna go to the F, but I'm gonna drop this note down to create the anticipation. So instead of that, I'm gonna play this. So watch. See how it's kind of unresolved? Now if I go to the minor, I can increase the tension. And if I don't want to resolve it right away, I can walk down to the E. So that creates even more anticipation. Go to the A minor. Let's go to the D minor. Add the is a G sharp. Even more tension, and that begs us to go back to the C major. B flat. It's E major to the F, to the F sharp, to the C over G, C over E major, to A minor. We're gonna do a D major, back to the F, and then we go F minor. And that creates tension to C. A little bliss. I'm gonna tell you what those chords are. A minor, F. It's gonna be a C over E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp or E to A minor, to the D major, to F, to F minor. All right, I hope that helps. I'll wait to hear back from you, and we'll add some more stuff. But practice your different chord shapes. Play with some of those glisses to get that kind of style, if you like it. And just don't be afraid to just experiment. So real quick example, if you're playing with a C in that invert shape, try dropping one note and see how it has a different sound. And then you can try to find a bass note, like a G or a E. So they each create different sounds and different tension. But that's all from this one C invert. And I can go to the G. That's an F, see? So I'll leave you with one thing. I want to show you this. This is something that someone showed me when I was like 5, and it really changed the way I look at music. And so it's this simple chord progression. So we got a C major, and then there's that's a E bass note with a inverted G. And then there's an A minor over F. And then there's a F major over G. So I'll put it all together. So C, time. So C major over C, and then there's a C where we drop this note to a D, and that's over an E. And then we're going to go A minor invert over F, and then we're going to do F major over G. And when you want to start playing with that, once you get that down, you can play with like the inverts. I hope that helps, gives you some inspiration, some things to play with. I pray God bless you on this journey.